We are now recording.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, you got it?
Yes. Please.
Okay. Well, I guess to sum it up, as I was saying before, I think it might be a behooving idea, and it might help out with creating more corroboration with my story.
Yes.
Is that if you were to look up flight records for the Danbury Airport in the year of 2007, if you look at the month of January and you look at February, there's going to be flight logs. Because when I was talking to James Alefantis at the party, I think he told me that he has flown into the Danbury Airport. Danbury Airport's a small airport, so that's typically just chartered flights. There's no commercial flights that go into that airport. So these are private flights. And so what I'm thinking is either David Brock has a private plane that he flew in there to the Danbury Airport, or he had chartered a plane to go in there, him and James Alefantis. I mentioned David Brock because David Brock was one of the people who was at the party. Now, if you were to look at the flight logs for the Danbury Airport for 2007, either late January or early February, you're gonna see, if these logs are correct, and I think that they have to keep these things on record, I'm sure. But James Alefantis' name, David Brock's name, and I'm sure that when you look into it, you're going to find that they probably had some pretty interesting guests as well on their plane. And one of them being Michael Avenatti.
No boy.
And Michael Avenatti was one of the guests at the party.
And that's Stormy Daniels' lawyer.
That's Stormy Daniels' lawyer. And if I were to describe him, he looked like a lacrosse player at a funeral.
Okay.
So this should add more of a full dynamic to exactly what was going on.
Okay.
One of the other faces that I saw there was India Oxenberg. And I didn't typically mention her because I wasn't quite sure, but I was looking at pictures of her, and there was a girl at the party who did look a lot like her. Even though I never was introduced to her, or she never introduced herself to me, but there was a girl who had the similar features, and she just she looked like a party girl. She just didn't. She just had a look in her eyes like she was just there at a party. She wasn't trying to. I don't know. But India was there. Michael Avenatti was there. David Brock was there.
Wow. Okay, so do you know about Sage Wanderer? He's a YouTube content creator.
I think so.
He's anyway. He did a video about you yesterday, where he said that he, for whatever reason, had also met Stormy Daniels, and that he believes you because Stormy Daniels was the same to him. And he did a whole elaborate story about how he thinks this cult is about sex magic.
Oh, probably. And that would be a good lead in with the OTO tie-in, because the OTO is all about the sex magic. Right. So that video's online, and that would make sense because you know what, that probably does mean that Alex Jones is in the. He's a member of NXIVM, I think. Alex Jones. I'm pretty sure. There's something up with that dude, and he's higher up in some echelons. I'm sure. Okay. But I've heard at least from some people in Austin that there's big NXIVM stuff that goes on in Austin, and they're one of the places besides New York and Vancouver that has a lot of NXIVM activity. And I heard that there was kind of a link up between the OTO and NXIVM, but I was never really clear on what that was all about. I just heard it kind of like a mention, and I wasn't really sure. Okay, well, I don't really have any evidence to connect them, but I've heard them together.
But that publicist who has given us a lot of trouble does have some Texas guys connected to him.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that.
Did you notice that?
Did.
Yeah.
I also noticed that dude doesn't post in his name anymore on the Frank report.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, he only posts under, he probably posts under multiple names, but the one that I could discern is the one of Flowers, and then anything that has my name as Benny in the title.
All right.
It's probably also the same one, as far as I could tell. But I'd say most of those comments are all the same person, anyways.
Yes. I think so too. Yeah. Well, then, I just put up a very lengthy article about that publicist and his very, very shady behavior.
Yeah.
Guys, what's your deal? I don't know. I think they're excited because I'm excited.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited you called, and then they get like that.
Okay.
And there's really nothing I can do. Like, I read my Napoleon stuff, and I get all excited.
And then they freak out.
Well, then they're like, they get like this. They are so, like, tuned into my energy. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm, like, tired, they're tired. They can feel I'm very excited.
I also notice there's a lot of people that are really reading into the video as well. Like, there's been this whole thing I noticed between the name Ben keeps popping up, and then the name Isaac popped up a bunch for some reason, along with my name, and then
okay.
They were talking about green lights. I mean, it was kind of trippy. I don't know if it was just kind of the order I watched these videos or whatever, but
yeah.
It was kind of a trippy thing, but they were talking about green lights because I had a green light in the video where I did the deposition, so.
Yeah.
It wasn't something so much intentional. It was just the light that I had in that lamp at the time, and it just kind of looked cool, so I just went with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that people are putting you in the comments of quote-unquote truthers who do not think that there's any reason to cover your story? I
noticed that as well.
Okay.
They seem not to really respond or anything like that.
Oh, no.
And I think they have to at some point. I mean, they have to look at that and be like, wow, I don't know. They don't know how to bridge that gap, because they definitely kind of shoved me off and said, yeah, whatever, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they weren't expecting people to have such a positive reaction,
right,
to my videos, and so now
right, they're in a
position where if they want to approach me, they're going to have to eat a little bit of crow, because they basically already told me that, hey, right, we're not interested. Okay. And I got a list of those names. I got a couple of names that there's probably a lot of people that either won't be happy about or really happy to hear.
Oh yeah.
That I think are just full of shit, and their channels are just shit as well for that.
Well, I will say something. We're always talking about shills on YouTube, and I'm at a point where we'll never know what's in their heart, how they're getting paid. We will not know any of this. All we know is what they do. How did they respond to you? And that says a lot about who they really are. Right. And that's all we have is the reaction. That is hard data.
I think as we're kind of tying things together, you're starting to see certain patterns and procedures that are emerging.
Yes.
From this.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I think it's very interesting to be on this side of the internet where you can see that, and a lot of people love to use the word organic, and that's a bullshit term when it comes to the internet.
Yes. And what we're doing is organic, and it's been heavily suppressed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And there's been some. I don't know if you'd call them wannabes, but there's definitely been some lookalikes that come around. It's like these people. There's doppelgangers that people are trying to link me up with, and when they take the legs out from under those shows, they're going to try to take me out as well. But
yes,
it's just not going to work, because no matter what, if someone wants to call me a liar, that's fine. I could stand there and ask them, hey, what is it that you think I'm lying about? I have no shame in that. I have absolutely no shame, because I'm telling the truth. And I'm saying, hey, look, you're not going to get rid of me that easily. You're not going to be able to just shut me up, because, these things happen to me.
Right.
And people are not going to tell me otherwise. People are not going to tell me that I'm crazy, that I dreamed something up, or, that I don't know what I'm talking about, because it's ridiculous by now.
Yes. Yes.
I take a lie detector test, and people want to question the guy who administered the lie detector test.
Right.
And that's fine. If they suspect that the guy's not legit, then maybe they should provide a guy who could conduct a lie detector test that they trust. That's fine. I'll take another one. I'll take a bunch of them.
Sure.
And
yeah, I doubt anyone's going to...
It's all going to come up with the same thing. And, a lot of people say, lie detectors are bull crap and they're really easy to beat. I challenge anyone who says that. I challenge them to take a lie detector test and try to beat it. I challenge them.
Right. Well, I do have an opinion about that, because there is this sort of received knowledge that polygraphs are worthless. And how many of us have experience with polygraph exams? So is that the powers that be filtering down this information that the truth is impossible to determine? No matter what you do, you can't find it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's just no way. The truth is just totally hidden. There's no way that anybody can find out the truth.
Right. I mean, you could narrow it down to probabilities and possibilities, but when it comes to actually detecting the truth, there's probably nothing that is absolute.
Because it's like everything spiritual. It's not provable, but we all know about it.
When you sit a normal average person down and you attach a polygraph machine with the galvanization, the sensors and all that, it's kind of a different story. You think, you sit in your computer chair thinking, I could totally sit there and beat that. But when you're actually sitting in a polygraph chair and you're being asked questions, your body and your mind start doing different things, and you start saying to yourself, you know what? If I were to start lying on this thing, this wouldn't be so easy to do. I'd really have to have it together and maybe be on some drugs or something like that. I don't even know. And I've actually, it's just, I don't know. That's just what it's come to, I guess.
I think you showed that it's like kind of a nerve-wracking experience.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah, I felt it, just from watching.
And I think one of the things that kind of tripped me up about that test was the way he was pronouncing his names. Man, he butchered those names.
I know.
No disrespect to Steve, but he's a good guy. Oh man, he did not know any of those names, which was, I guess, he probably doesn't. Maybe he doesn't read too many newspapers. I don't see a reason to.
Well, I obviously had all the same thoughts. It's hard to be truthful about names that. Well, what name are you saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what name are you saying that I can be truthful about?
Well, also, you hear a name and it's said funny, and your first reaction is to kind of like want to laugh at it or something like that.
Exactly.
I wonder if that tinkers with the machine at all in some kind of way. But,
I think you would have had, higher rates of truth had he pronounced those names correctly. I honestly do believe that.
Right.
I really did, because he was saying like, oh, you're a 3 and a 4 is truth. Oh, I'll give that to you. And it's like, it's probably because the guy could not pronounce those names.
Well, I was cracking up. I was like, man.
It was funny. It was literally funny. It was funny. I mean, it was not close. So you had to, under a polygraph, say, oh, what does he mean? What is he trying to say? What is he asking me?
Yeah.
Like, is he talking?
Yeah, I had to question whether or not he was saying, because it's strange, and especially you're under kind of a hyper alert.
Of course.
Kind of mode. You're in a hyper alert mode when you're taking those things.
Of course.
Unless you're a complete psychopath.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I don't fit those parameters as far as I know.
No, I wouldn't say so. All right.
Then other than that, everything seems to be going fine.
Okay. Good.
All the arrangements are fine. So, and then other than that, I don't know. I guess I don't really have so much to say. I'm just watching all this kind of chatter fly by on the webs, and
okay.
It's just, what is today? August 1st, 8118.
Oh.
2018.
8118.
Yeah.
99. 18. 9.
We'll see what happens with the rest of this week, but.
Wow, but that's I just put up a video about how this time of year is something like the Lion's Gate, and it's astrological, and it's a portal to something. It was on Finis Temporis, and it's just interesting you bring that up. So there might be some like mystical things happening that I'm not aware of. And then, like you said, 8118.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, is people need to be looking out for these different dates, because these dates do mean stuff to Luciferians and Satanists, and they do practice different rituals on these dates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, looking at these things, you could line up a lot of terrible events with their high holy holidays for some reason. I don't think it's so much of a coincidence. Or
No.
There's too much coincidence, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Absolutely. Well, we will,
like I said, I ended up going on the page of the video that I had made, and I added a bit of a statement to just let people know how I'm doing, where I'm at.
Okay. And this is on Twitter.
The Twitter, I put a link to the YouTube video page that, and the statement that I made, I pinned it to the top of the comments, so it'll be the first thing you see. Okay,
you made a video.
I didn't make a video, but I put a comment on my deposition video.
All right. Okay, so your Twitter is at BurnXmas, BERNXMAS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at Burn Christmas, and then
why? What is that? Why is that your Twitter name?
Years back, when I was doing this business thing, I used to get free magazines, and the company name that I had with the owner of the company's name was Burn Xmas, and it was just, Burn Christmas.
Okay.
Okay. I went through, I've got a special last name, so I went through years of people, especially male companies, butchering my name.
Okay.
I'd get an envelope one day from a company, and it would be addressed to Ben Circus, or just something ridiculous like that. So I started bastardizing my name a little bit. I came up with Burn Xmas.
Oh, I see. There's always some interesting story. You're Burn Xmas. Okay. I'm glad to finally find out about that.
Yeah, nah, that's the business owner name that I go by.
All right. All right, good to know. I'll definitely check out your Twitter to see what you did.
Yeah, no, it's not even Twitter, but you look at, I mean, the Twitter just has a link back to my video on the YouTube deposition, and then on that there's a comment that I had just written a little added thing, and I also put that comment on James Munder's page. So I don't know if you'll get the opportunity or not, but if you do, maybe just contact him real quick and just let him know that I put a little comment on the video that he'd done about me a couple days ago.
Okay, no problem. I have to tell you something. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but your address is on your polygraph information on your Twitter?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Well, see, and that's another thing is that I saw that, and I was like, oh, crap. So,
right.
Like everyone sees that. But also, the idea of that whole thing, and what really bothers me is when you look into intent, and people have certain intents of doing things. And when I put that polygraph result up, I had no intent of doxing my own address, but I did. I didn't even realize it until it was pointed out later. But when you look at the intent of the pages that were actually reprinting my address, their intent was not. It wasn't anything good. They intended for people either come after me.
All right. Can I tell you what happened?
What's that?
Okay. So, you were so transparent that you didn't even remember to block out your address. I think that again, your intention was very transparent. And then on this publicist's website, he has some people on there who appear to be in his comments all day, almost as if it's their job. And, I do stay off that site. I hear about it from you. I hear it from other people, but I am not on that site. So basically, you told me that you felt threatened. Other people told me that they were treating you in a very inhumane fashion. You told me you felt like a sitting duck. And then I started to talk about it, and I started to get comments, some of them from one of the people who seems to comment on this publicist's blog all day, saying, Ben posted...
Yeah, they find what you're doing. They find you.
Okay, so on my blog, thetancer.com, I got a comment from one of those people that seems to be on there all day, as if it's his job on that site, and he said Ben posted his address on Twitter. So, we checked it out. We saw that it was on your polygraph documents, and we just, deleted it because he's trying to make a point. But the point is they were harassing you. The point wasn't your address. It was that they were covertly threatening you under sock puppet accounts. Okay, fine. So that was deleted. We moved on. And then I think I got that comment 3, maybe 4 more times on my blog. So they were spamming my blog with Ben has his address on his Twitter, as if you were being malicious to yourself. You were actually being transparent. Okay, now let me tell you the next thing. You ready for the next thing? So this was all happening, I think, Sunday night, where I felt very, 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 very targeted by that publicist's people. And then a comment. See, I kept getting all these comments on my blog. So they were trying, I think, to show that I can't control my comments either. Therefore, it's not that publicist's fault who comments on his blog. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't control my comments either, so it's not his fault that all these horrible things happen on his blog. And I could totally see what they were doing. And then I didn't really want to look at it that closely because it was totally toxic, bad energy that they were putting on my blog. And so I wasn't examining it. And then I started to get all these messages on Twitter from people saying, somebody on your blog is doxing Ben. They're saying who he's with. They're saying the address. I really think you need to take that down. And I was just kind of tuning it out a little bit because I was feeling a little overwhelmed by the attention I was getting from that publicist's people. And then finally I was like, oh, okay, I see what they did. So they came up with a fake address for you in a state which I don't think you're in. And, right. And all these people on Twitter was like, look, somebody's trying to expose where Ben is. Like, watch out, get it off there, right? And then I said to the people on Twitter, I said, look, we've got somebody after us. We've got this publicist who is like determined to destroy your story. And I said to them, this guy is harassing us under stock public accounts. If they do that again, please let me know right away, because I do have a lot going on. It's very difficult for me to keep up with everything. And I said, please look for this publicist harassment so I can take it down right away, because I do not want that filth on my blog. And that was the end of those comments. Right. I said, look, this is my story. My story is that this publicist is deliberately harassing Ben. And that was corroborating that story again. And then it stopped. Right. So every time they come to my blog to do that to you, everybody's going to know what's going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely have weaponized tactics.
Mm-hmm.
That they seem to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, you could feel it. You could feel that there's a psychic presence that
I felt it.
A psychic presence that is beating down on, and that's precisely the reason that I felt like I had to go dark like that.
Exactly.
You could just feel the spotlight on you, and you have all these people who are making these disgusting, gross comments, and to the point where it just starts to get really freaky.
I know.
I know. A lot of people say, well, that's how the internet works.
Right.
Stupid.
Right.
But that's well and good until it starts happening to you, and that can happen to just about anyone. The internet's a scary place, and you have all kinds of people going on there that have no idea at the type of people who are out there. Just predators, just people who are just downright predators.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just looking for somebody that they can try and manipulate.
Oh yeah. And I got to tell you about they wanted to interview your polygraph examiner, and they had and this was also coming from the direction of that publicist. So that publicist's people, I guess, were really trying to do an interview with your polygraph examiner. And because I couldn't get permission from you, and they were acting like they were my friend, okay?
Yeah.
So when they couldn't get permission from you to interview the PI, they got a little freaky. They got a little crazy. Like, I started getting a lot of phone calls. I started getting all those comments. So I sensed that publicist really wanted to do something big with that PI.
I think he was going to look for a way to belittle the guy, or at least find some kind of way to discredit him or his method.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that when the first time I was contacted about the PI, it was, hey, congratulations, I want to interview your PI,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great. And it was just like all this like fake energy behind it. And, I can be affected by that. And, oh, wow. Like hindsight.
Yeah.
Right.
It seems to be that hindsight is the most appropriate way to look into these things.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot to be said for timing. And, and it's interesting that, the internet is kind of like an ugly mirror. It has a reflection of you, but it's always just in probably the worst light possible.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of truth is coming out because the internet. So it is a weapon for good and evil.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think the internet's a big reason why kids don't respect adults anymore.
How so?
Because back in the day, if a kid didn't know something, they'd have to ask an adult.
Oh, right.
Say, hey, why is this like this? And nowadays, they think they know it all because they have the internet.
It's funny. It's funny.
And that's proven to cause kind of a rift in society, I think. I think it's caused a huge rift in society.
I see what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Socially and psychologically.
Oh, totally. Totally.
And on that note, any future predictions? I hear that. I don't know. I just saw this bubble pop with Facebook, and the next one's probably going to be Amazon, because that's a bubble that's waiting to pop up. I've done a lot of actual legitimate studies about Amazon.
And what are you saying here?
I think Amazon's about to maybe make some announcements. Their whole business is going to change. What I had originally thought was going to happen is Amazon was just going to go the way of Enron, and just one day it's, hey, the doors are locked. Where's everyone?
Right.
No, that business is gone. And I don't know, not a lot of people know this with Enron, but even all the computers and stuff were all stripped down. People were going into their office and there's nothing there.
Really?
Pretty much.
You always hear kind of bad things about Amazon.
No one saw it coming. And see, my degree is in economics, and one of the things that you notice, one of the big red flags to an economist, or at least there should be a red flag to an economist, even though I haven't read anything that correlates with this. But when you start measuring a company's value by their potential worth,
oh yeah,
a red flag should come up immediately.
Yeah.
And all these stupid economists, all these dumb economists throughout this country haven't said a damn thing, and they probably know what's going on. I bet you the market knows what's going on, too. I know Walmart knows what's going on because they just flipped all their Sam's Clubs into e-commerce companies. And if you look at the geography of it, look everywhere that there's a Sam's Club, there's also an Amazon warehouse. And so they see what's happening on the horizon. They know that there's probably going to be a gap to fill. And I guess the predicting is fall of Amazon, which is
you're predicting the fall of Amazon.
Well, the other side to it is there's an internet tax, and I don't think that they've been paying their internet tax either. There's going to be a lot of things. They didn't even pay taxes last year. When a company doesn't pay taxes, that's typically a sign that they've filed bankruptcy, because when you file bankruptcy, you're not responsible for the taxes for the year that you filed bankruptcy. So they didn't have to file any taxes. They probably filed bankruptcy.
You're an interesting man, Ben. I had no idea this conversation was going this direction.
Sure. Well, I do a lot of reading. It's kind of a old, forgotten about pastime.
Okay. All right. Well,
read. I mean,
look. Look.
People read. Don't get me wrong. People read menus. Read menus, but when it comes to nonfiction, you don't have a lot of people out there. You see with their heads buried in books, and rather just maybe have their head buried in a computer or a phone instead.
Right. Totally. All right. Well, we heard it here first. The fall of Amazon is maybe coming.
You should have seen my bank officer when I was telling him about this as well. I thought he was gonna flip out, and even better, I told him that he could be a big hero by telling his company to pull all their money out of Amazon.
Well, I will say that I read every day that the economy is doing fantastic, but my gut tells me to stay in cash. I do some trading, and I'm definitely feeling time for cash.
I don't typically give stock advice, and I wouldn't follow any stock advice that I was given. But one of the little tricks that I had seen was looking at these what are they, just like the second rate merchandising. So stores like Marshalls and TJ Maxx are great stocks to have. Because they just sell women's clothing, but they sell it at a discount rate. So you figure there's always substitutions for places like Neiman Marcus or Kohl's or some of these other guys. I'm forgetting the stupid names of them. I haven't been to the Westchester Mall in years. So
okay.
The fancy mall, not the other mall in Westchester.
I didn't know you lived near Westchester.
Well, I lived in Connecticut for a long time, so I was always bouncing in and out of Manhattan and stuff. I'd go through Westchester. I was always on 84, 684, or something like that.
Okay, I get it. I know, because like upstate New York's like very connected to Connecticut.
Yeah.
We're in Long Island, so I'm like a world away from Connecticut, and it's the closest place to me.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I have to like take an $80 ferry to go there.
But it's funny because the Westchester area, they have like a poor mall and like a rich mall.
Oh, okay.
You can tell that they have a rich mall. The rich mall has carpeting, and you're not allowed to chew gum.
Okay. It's random. I've never heard of a no gum policy at a mall. Yeah.
But as for stock advice, when people start to go broke, when the economy starts to go bad, these kind of depot women's clothing shops, these kind of like cheap clothing shops, head for those stocks, and you'll do consistently well.
That's interesting.
Because even when people are poor, women still got to look good.
They do. I cannot argue with your reasoning at all. Oh, Ben, I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better, and I really want you to be very, very, very safe. And my dogs, I do feel you'll be safe, and I do have, my little dog. So, I really am looking forward to continuing our conversations, because you are full of surprises.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I think you're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, as you know, I have terrible reception.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could figure out a way to get a better connection. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can.
All right, because I'm not moving the phone, so it's the weather, who knows. All right.
Okay. Well, as for being safe, so far so good.
Good. Okay, yeah. I have to tell you, I'm getting messages for you all the time. A lot of people are very concerned about you, very grateful for you. I really, really positive messages are coming in. And, I tell them if they want to do something for you to pray for you, because I really want people to be sending you very, very good intentions.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah. And I believe that. I'm not being cute,
Absolutely.
Right. I want everybody to send their good energy to you, because you are taking a stand. And I'm really proud of you, and I'm really, how I feel,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers.
Oh, and I'm hearing about it all the time, and I absolutely say, please do, pray for Ben, pray for his safety, and I really do believe it will help.
Well, and for all the harassment and for every death threat that I get, I think that just a simple when I see someone that says, "Hey, thanks a lot," and it doesn't have to be elaborate or complex or anything like that. But it's just that positive energy that really helps to keep me going.
I know it does. And you've got a lot of it. You really do. A lot of people like they really what? Yeah, they care about your well-being. They see where your heart is. I mean, you've got all these people being so nasty to you, but you're trying to get the truth out. I mean, that's very noble.
And that's the thing too, because after with the nastiness, you don't even see it anymore when you do have people that are appreciative and gratuitous.
Well, something that I've noticed about my project is the people who like my project are very, very, very good people because they are responding to the goodness in the project, and very, very, very bad people hate it. So I get these cartoonish villains who attack what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then when I look into these people, they are the worst people on the planet. So my project does this thing where it splits people into extremes. Or the very good like it and the very bad hate it.
Right, it's a detector.
It is a detector. And then there's other people in the middle, But these extreme personalities do reveal themselves just from the kind of things that we're doing.
I get it.
Yeah,
well, hey, look, I got to cut this call short.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
It was great to talk with you.
Yes.
And I hope to talk to you soon. I'll give you a call at some point when I get the opportunity.
Thank you, and I'll put this up.